guys? Welcome back to Lily Reads. In today's video, we are going to be reading some L. Kennedy. I am going to be reading, I believe, one of the most popular indie published romance series that has really graced booktube and definitely BookTok. This series picked up a lot of traction on BookTok in the past few years, but before then I saw a lot of booktubers talk about this series. There were always, I would say, about 5 or 6 booktubers on booktube that were always reading the specific type of romance that is really popular right now. They have been reading those for well over a decade, and a lot of these series that have been published a long time ago that are getting a lot of buzz, they were the ones reading these series and why these series were continuing to be published. But anyways, I'm going to read the Off-Campus series. Now, I have owned these books for quite a while, and I'm going back and forth on if I was going to read them. I thought about unhauling them at a point because this type of romance just isn't really my type of romance. But then I picked up this L. Kennedy series, and I gave all of them really good ratings. And I'm like, if I like this series, which most people do not enjoy, I might like the Off-Campus series. So I said, you know what? Let me read it this week. Now, there's a reason why I'm reading this series this week. I want a palate cleanser. I just want a week of just reading some nonsense. I know none of these books are highbrow. I know it's going to be mess, foolishness, and shenanigans, but that's what I want to read for a week. Something I just don't have to think about. I am not always literary fiction, I am not always trying to be stimulated in the most, educational and complex prose that can exist in literature. Sometimes I just want to read some mess, and L. Kennedy is my brand of mess. So anyways, I only own 3 books in this series. I do know there are 4 books in this series, but I just stopped buying all 4 whenever I purchased these. I guess I thought buying all 4 of them was ridiculous, so I never purchased the 4th book. It wasn't until I took them off my bookshelf that I even realized there were 4 books. So either I just didn't know there were 4 books, or I just was like, can you knock it off? But regardless, I'm only going to read 4, even if I like this series so damn. I think 3 is enough for me. I do not need to go beyond that. So in this video, we are going to be reading The Deal. This is the first book in the Off-Campus series, and then we are going to be reading The Mistake, which is the second book in the Off-Campus series, and then lastly, we will be reading The Score. Now, like I told you, there is a 3rd book, and that 3rd book is called The Goal. I will not be reading The Goal. Even if I like these books, I will not be reading The Goal. So anyways, I'll talk to you guys in the first clip. Hello, you guys. Let's ignore my hair. If we can do that, ignore my hair. I am here to give initial thoughts on L. Kennedy, The Deal. So I have made it to page 120. I was sitting under my hooded dryer and I just knocked out a quick 100 pages in this book. So let me tell you what this book is about. What are our main characters' names? So in this book, we're following a character named Hannah Wells. She is in college. She is in the same college that keeps getting referenced in the other L. Kennedy series I read. So, a little bit of, world building right there. But Hannah is in a philosophy class, and she gets an A on a philosophy midterm, and everybody else fails the midterm. And so she's just like, yeah, I'm smart or whatever. She's not thinking anything really of it, whatever. And there's this guy in her philosophy class named Justin who's sitting there in the classroom, and she's like, I have a crush on him. I want to be with him. Well, there's also another guy sitting in the philosophy classroom. His name is Garrett. Garrett is on the hockey team, and he has clearly failed the philosophy midterm. He looks sad and distraught in the classroom. So he walks up to Hannah, and he asks Hannah, will she tutor him? Because he needs to do well on the midterm so that he can continue to play hockey. And Hannah's just like, no, because I don't want to. She thinks this guy is pompous. He thinks he runs the school. And so she wants nothing to do with him. And so they kind of part ways, and she's still crushing on this other guy named Justin, who's in the same class, who's on the football team. Well, this guy, Garrett, kind of stalks her, does a little bit of mild stalking, and he basically is like, he takes her home one day. There's a party. She goes to a party. He's at the party. He takes her home one day, and Garrett sees at the party that she was making eyes at Justin, and he was like, so you like Justin, but Justin doesn't like you because you're not his type. And so she's like, what is Justin's type? And she's like, Justin likes it girls. He likes the popular girls. But he's like, if you date me, he'll think you're popular and y'all can date. And so at first she's just like, that's stupid. But then because she wants to be with this guy so bad, she goes, actually, that makes sense. So they strike a deal. The deal is that she'll tutor him in exchange for his clout. And that starts her story. Of course I'm liking it. Of course I am liking it. Elle Kennedy's writing just takes me to a place that, like, of when I was younger. To me, these books are the perfect, just like, palate cleanser. Whenever I'm not sure what I want to read, and I read a Elle Kennedy book, I'm just like, ugh, this takes me back to like staying up till like 2 a.m. reading stuff on Wattpad. What I enjoy the most about Elle Kennedy's writing is I have no clue what Elle Kennedy's gonna put on the page, because Elle Kennedy is not trying to write the best fiction. Like, she's intentionally writing trashy literature, like trashy literature for young adults. This isn't YA, obviously. It's just like for young people. So I should say for young people. That is what she's writing. And it's not politically correct. It's uncouth. It's gauche. It's crude. It's just, and it works for me. I don't know. And then because this book was published in the early 2010s, it also has early 2010s references that like also take me back. And I'm just like, at first it took me about 40 pages to get my rhythm in this one. But once I did, I was there. So yes, you guys, I am enjoying this book. If I had to guess right now, I'm thinking 4 out of 5 stars. Which, if we start with a 4 out of 5 stars, imagine. Anyways, I'm enjoying this book. I'm going to keep reading. This isn't even my favorite trope in the world. I don't love fake dating. It depends on it, but I definitely don't love, it's not a fave trope of mine. So for this to be pretty solid, things are seeming good, but I'm going to read some more, maybe even finish it, and come back with some more thoughts. Hello, you guys. I am in the bed for the night. I am going to read more of The Deal. I have made it. I've read 100 more pages since the last time I talked to you. So I'm on page 200. And once again, this book is actually getting better. I'm so sorry, you guys. I am just into Elle Kennedy's writing. That I think that's the best way to describe it. But I think if anyone was writing this type of book, I would be into it. I'm into the ridiculousness of it all. I know I am not reading highbrow literature. I know, like I said, I know this is crude. The characters say the darnest things. The dialogue is not good. It's cheesy. It's corny. It's even gross at times. But I'm here for it. Like, this is just my type of palate cleanser, especially because in the year 2024, I have not been into romance really at all. And so, like, this is the romance that's been doing it for me the past 2 years. There is, some exceptions like the Kiss Countdown last month, but I am just, this does something for me. It keeps me flipping the pages. It keeps me flipping the pages. No, this book probably won't make it into my best books of the year, but like, sometimes you need to just read some mess. That is what this is. This is just mess. It's nothing to think that deeply about, and that is what I wanted. That is what I needed this week. So I'm having a blast, but I'm going to finish this book not tonight. I'll probably read another maybe 60 something pages tonight. I don't know why 60 is the number I've decided on. And then I will finish it up in the morning. And that's what we'll do. Okay? Talk to you guys later. Peace. Good morning, you guys. I am here because number one, I am about to go work out. But I need to come and give you my final thoughts on The Deal by Elle Kennedy. I was able to wrap that book up yesterday afternoon. So I need to come give you my thoughts. Okay, so The Deal by Elle Kennedy. I think I'm going to go ahead and give this book 3.75 stars. I enjoyed it in many ways, like I always tell you how I enjoy Elle Kennedy books. They're trashy, they're ridiculous, and they just cleanse my palate, They just scratch a little itch in my brain. But I do think this book, number one, this book has a sexual assault like storyline, and I think it's done really poorly. I don't like the vein in which it's used. I think it's just put in there to give the characters some type of like overcoming, and the way it's used to further the sex life of our hero and heroine, I found to actually kind of be disgusting and disturbing. So like that was already, I said I'm taking a point off. And then the ending, I felt like the ending could have had like some tension. There's like a third person kind of in this love triangle. It's kind of a love triangle because that's what the whole deal starts off with, her having a crush on another guy. And I think it was so like underutilized. I was waiting for like some, something to come of it. And to me, it never really did. So I just felt like the ending kind of was just like, okay, and it just turned into really protective boyfriend, really, victimized girlfriend, and I'm just like, okay, I've had enough. So 3.75 with this. Am I happy I read it? Did I enjoy it more than I thought I was going to enjoy it? Yes. Starting off this book, I really didn't even think I was going to finish this book. And I'm gonna be really, really honest with you. If I would have read this when this book came out 12 years ago, I would have loved this book even more. Like, I know that, like, in its time, I would have ate this shit up. So, there's that on that. Anyways, we are moving on to The Mistake by Elle Kennedy. This is the second book in the Off-Campus series. This is also the shortest one that I own. So it barely crosses 300 pages. So my goal today, I want to read the entire book. I'm going to read the entire book today. It's been a long time since Kenya has read a book in one day, and why not do it with this? So I am going to read all of this today, but I'll get some pages read and come back with my initial thoughts. But first I gotta go work out and eat some breakfast. Hello, you guys. I am sitting here. I'm watching the Olympics and I am reading The Mistake. I have made it 100 pages through. So, in this book, we are back at Briar University and we are following the best friend of our hero in the deal. So, Garrett's best friend's name is Logan. And a subplot in the deal was that Logan had a crush on Hannah, which was the heroine in the deal. And so Logan is dealing with the fact that his best friend is dating the girl he had a crush on. And so he's trying to cope with that. And by doing that, he is partying and sleeping with a lot of people. But also, the reason why he is doing that is because he has a lot of things going on in his personal life. He doesn't want to play hockey anymore, or more so, he can't play hockey anymore because he has to take care of his alcoholic father, because he promised his brother that if his brother watched their dad while he was in college, he would take on that responsibility after college so his brother could go live his life with his girlfriend. So he can't really go pro in hockey because he has to take care of his dad. So he's dealing with that. His dad's an alcoholic. His dad also is has issues with his leg. He got into an accident and he has issues with his leg. That's why his dad needs to be watched all the time. And so he's dealing with all this stuff, and so he's drinking and sleeping with women to get over that. That brings in our heroine, Grace. Grace is 19 years old. And she is a freshman and she's never had sex before. She really wouldn't think about this except for the fact she has a best friend named Ramona, who is her roommate, who is having sex with everybody. And so she's just like, I want to live and have fun, especially because she has a mother who is very carefree and wants her to like enjoy her life. And so she's just like, I'm not enjoying my time in college because, I'm kind of a prude in that way. So she's decided she is going to hook up. Well, one night, Grace and Logan cross paths because Logan ends up at the wrong dorm. He went to go visit his friend, but he ends up at Grace's dorm. And so they end up fooling around, and that kind of starts this because after they start fooling around, Grace lets it be known to her friends, who are kind of not her friends, they kind of messy as hell, that she is seeing this guy. She is, fooling around with Logan. Logan is a hot shot on campus. Everybody who's on the hockey team is a hot shot on campus. And so Logan is, everyone wants to be with Logan. So she lets it be known like she's like sleeping with Logan. A lot of people think she's lying because no one's actually seen them together. He's been like sneaking into her dorm and leaving, and the roommate is never there when he is there. So they're just like, okay, sure. And so one of the girls who like kind of is like a groupie for the hockey team, she posts on Twitter that Grace is lying about hooking up with Logan. And so that starts like Grace feeling bad about herself, and she thinks she's kind of a loser, she's kind of being bullied. And so she's just like, you know what? I'm going to have sex with Logan. I'm just going to have sex with Logan. I'm going to lose my virginity, whatever. So on the night that she's supposed to have sex with Logan, they get to talking to one another, and Logan kind of admits that he doesn't really want to have sex with her because he kind of really she kind of just was like a rebound. Like basically he doesn't want to do any of this. It wasn't supposed to be this thing that was consistent. So they end up like hating each other. Well, she ends up hating him, and that's where I left off. Yes, that is all happened in the 100 pages. So maybe I went further than, a regular old synopsis, but like that, this is called The Mistake, and that's why she sees it as a mistake, because she thought like she could have like, this guy, and come to find out she was just a little rebound. And that's what's going on. I like the setup of this well enough, but I will say it took 100 pages to get to that point. Another thing I didn't talk about during the deal, the Hannah in the deal is such a goddamn pick-me, and she made me so fucking sick. She's that girl at a frat party that cleans up the frat house before the party is even done. Like, she's the one picking up cups and vacuuming while the party is going on, just so everybody knows she's wifey of the frat house. Like, this pick-me coded. And so That's another reason she pissed me off in there. But she's in this book and she's annoying me in this book too. And I'm just like, oh, get her off my screen. Um, Grace, Grace and Logan are fine. Grace, she doesn't really have much going on. She's not that interesting of a character. I will say, I think I found Hannah more interesting. Grace is a little flat and dull. Like, besides being a virgin, like, she really has nothing else going on. At least Hannah in the deal, like, has singing going on. So Grace ain't doing much of nothing. Logan has some stuff going on. He has some secrets. So there's that. It's fine. It's fine. I definitely was into it quicker than I was into the deal, but I will say the middle chunk of the deal was really good, and I don't know if I'm gonna enjoy the middle chunk of this. I'm trying to wonder, like, what's gonna be, like, what's gonna go on. But anyways, I will finish this and let you know. Will I finish it today? Here's the thing. It is Thursday, and Thursday is date night in my house. So I might leave in a few hours. And so if I don't knock out another 100 pages before I go on the date, I won't finish this. I want to knock out 100 pages before I go on the date. And then after I get back from the date, knock out the last chunk of this. That is what someone who is serious would do. What is Kenya going to do? I don't know. Because also, over on my Patreon, I'm doing Augmas. Yes, Augmas. I am posting every weekday in August on Patreon. So I also have to do something for that. So we'll see. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace. Hello, you guys. It is the end of the night, and I have finished The Mistake by L. Kennedy. The real mistake was me reading this book. This book was an absolute waste of my time. I could go on about how the main characters of this book, especially the woman main character of this book, are silly. I could go on about how the dialogue is bad, like laughably bad. These characters have nothing to do. There's no real like obstacles, there's no real issues, but the real tragedy of this book is that it's completely boring. Like, it's just really, really boring, which the reason why I enjoy L. Kennedy's slop is because, like, at least it's like, entertaining. It's like entertaining in a CW type of way. This book stopped being entertaining after maybe the 50-page mark. Like, nothing happens. You're just going from sex scene to sex scene to sex scene to sex scene. There's not even any real like drama in like the coupling. Also something, and I hate when I bring this up because L. Kennedy is not trying to be politically correct. So like it doesn't even matter, but there's a character in this book who is a woman, and she does something really like low down to our female main character, and almost her consequence for it was getting like sexually assaulted. Like, her consequence for being a bad person was being caught in an almost sexual assault incident. And I'm just like, is that what we doing? Like, I get it, it's 2014, but like, is that what we doing? I don't know if that's what we should be doing. But yeah, this was a no for me. In the way that I enjoyed the deal, this no. This was not good. Anyways, we're going to move on to the score. And reading this book makes me want to be like, here goes another one. Like, reading this all in one day, I shouldn't have done that. Like, I'm happy I'm done with it. Like, I don't have to think about it again. And it's not even like it was just dreadfully bad. It was just dreadfully boring, Like, there was just nothingness there. Even the issues that the main characters had, like alcoholic dad, virgin girl, like, even that is unoriginal. I just, wasn't for me. We'll move on to the next one. Peace. Hello, you guys. So I have something to admit. I had to take a full day off of reading these books. I almost let The Mistake put me in a reading slump because I just I did not enjoy that book. I did not enjoy that book. To me, it was everything that people hate about these types of books. Like, it was silly. There was no plot, just sex. There was nothing going on. The characters weren't interesting. You were just going from moment to moment to moment just to see these two characters have sex. And like, I can enjoy L. Kennedy books, but that 100% was the worst L. Kennedy book that I have read. So I had to take a whole day off because I just didn't want to like try and like keep walking through the mud and get myself in a reading slump, because I do have other books I want to read this month. And so I said, can you just take a day off and then come back? And so that is what I've done. And I have gotten to page 100 in The Score this morning by L. Kennedy. And I'm going to just start by saying things have gotten better. So in this book, we are following a character named Allie and a character named Dean. Now, of course, we have already met Allie and we have already met Dean. And I will say, I have been wanting to hear from this Dean fella. I have been wanting to hear from this Dean fella. So I was really, really excited when I saw that this book was going to be about Dean, because Dean has been in the background of the last two books and I wanted to hear a book from his POV. So in this, we have Allie as well. Allie was the best friend of our heroine in the first book. They were roommates. They were best friends. She has that boyfriend who she's off and on with. That's her. And when we meet up with Allie, Allie has just broken up with Sean again. They had decided, well, she has decided that like their relationship keeps going in these circles and they got to move on. Like, college is almost over, so they have to move on. And so she is really sad because, you know, this has been her boyfriend for 3 years. And so she decides that she is going to stay at Hannah's her best friend's boyfriend's house, just so she's not just in the dorm sad all day. But Hannah is on vacation with Garrett. Same thing with Logan and Grace from the last book. They're all on vacation. So she is in this house alone with their other roommate, Dean. And then there's this other roommate, Tucker, who is like gone. And so she goes over there. Dean is in the middle of a threesome with these two girls and he kicks them out. And it's just like, okay, you can stay because, you know, all the other friends on the hockey team said that you should stay. So I'm going to let you stay. Long story short, they end up getting drunk and having sex with each other twice. And that kind of starts our book because Dean is a playboy. Dean doesn't want to be in a relationship. Dean has rich parents. Dean is going to head off to law school after this year. He doesn't want to go play hockey professionally. And so he's just trying to have fun. But for some reason, since hooking up with Allie, he can't get her off his mind. But Allie does not want to do the whole hookup thing with Dean. She still has feelings for Sean, and so she thinks that's not healthy. So anyways, Dean is trying to get Allie to like build some type of relationship with him, but you know, she's not really going for it. And that kind of starts our story. I like this. You can tell like years are going by, as in like real years in time in our life, because L. Kennedy, I think, is realizing like this book is just more well constructed than the other two books, and you can tell that the author knows that, like, okay, we got to start building worlds, characters, and you can just see how, like, romance is, like, changing, you know, just through the way this book is constructed. This is a more well-rounded story than the other two, in my opinion. I don't know if I'm going to enjoy it more than The Deal, but I will just say, altogether, this book is being constructed better. I think the writing is a little bit better. We still have our cheesy L. Kennedy horn dog, crude comments that I could do without, but you know, it's better. It's better than The Mistake, and I like Dean and I like Allie. They seem to have better things going on in their life, so that's fun. That's fun to see. So yeah, I am enjoying this one a little bit more. We haven't been flooded with sex scenes for the past, like, you know, 100 pages, like in the Mistake. So, you know, I'm enjoying this. I am enjoying this. So we're gonna see. I'm gonna read some more and tell you some more about it, and then we can wrap this video up. I know that's my week. My week of smut is almost over because I told you guys, regardless of how I feel about this book, I'm not getting the last book in this series. If I would have gotten it when I purchased these other three, then sure, I would read it. But like, I'm not gonna go out of my way and go like purchase the next one. I don't feel any need. And then I can just go get it on Kindle as well. Like, if I want it so bad, I can just go get it on Kindle. Anyway, so I am going to chill out. I have some videos to edit for my main channel. Hello, you guys. I am about to do some nighttime reading. I have made it to the halfway point of the score, and I'm going to tell you guys, I am really enjoying this book. I think this book takes elements from The Deal and elements from The Mistake and kind of like do them like better. I think that the characters are better in this book. I think that there's tension. I thought the other two books lacked a lot of tension. And like reasons for why these two characters weren't together didn't make sense to me. Like why we still needed to be a part of their story. Like it just seemed like they were a couple already. This book, I think, has more reasons to why the story is being prolonged. And I think it's done really, really well. Another thing I haven't said in the other clips, I don't think, is that I don't really enjoy the sex scenes in this book, but I will say I have enjoyed them the most in the score. But I'm not going to take points away from that because I know, like I said, I know me a decade ago would have enjoyed this. Like, I am aware that me as a reader today, I am not the target audience for this type of book. Like, the overly sexed up, crude type of book, smut heavy type of book, that is just not, I'm not the audience for that. Like, I'm just not. This appeals to, like I said, younger adults. I'm talking about people like late high school, early college. Like, that's what these books appeal to. And that's when these books came out, when I was that age. So like, me a decade ago would appreciate that. So I'm not taking points away because I just don't think I will ever enjoy that. So I don't think I would ever enjoy that now. I'm not impressed. Like, sex scenes don't do anything. Like, it just, I don't know. You're supposed to be smitten in a way that I just won't be, because like, I'm grown. But outside of that though, I am enjoying this book. So that's good. Another thing, at the end of The Mistake, we got an epilogue that took place 2 years in the future. And so I do want to say that this book actually goes back in the past. So we've already gotten future information. We know that Hannah and Grace's boyfriends, Logan and Garrett, they end up playing in the NHL, but we go back in time to where they're still in college. That's something that I could say. But anyway, I'm going to finish this, not tonight. I'll finish it up in the morning and come to you guys and wrap the video up. But I did want to say, I'm still enjoying it. I probably enjoyed the last 50 pages more than I enjoyed the first 100. So yeah, anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace. Hello, you guys. I am here to wrap this video up. So I have finished The Score by Elle Kennedy, and I'm going to go ahead and give this book 3.5 stars. I think of all three books, this was the most a book. You got characters, you got character development, there was plot, there were things they were going through. I think this book follows the most natural arc of a story that we have become accustomed to in the romance world. I think Elle Kennedy's writing is better in this book, but that does not mean I greatly enjoyed this book. There were certain elements I enjoyed of this book, but I don't know if that's just because I really disliked The Mistake, the book prior to this. But there were things that I enjoyed about this book, things I didn't like about this book. Overall, I just think it was a fine book. Like, I want to give it 3.5 because I'm just like, I enjoy certain elements. You got to see more of the characters on their own. I just believe that in all of these books, the guys get more characterness than the girls. The girls are kind of all the same. They kind of all blend together. They kind of all do the same stuff. And also, when you're reading these books back to back, you kind of see Elle Kennedy using the exact same like plots and exact same, stuff for each and every character, to the point where they all just start to blend in together. So there's that. I did enjoy the sex scenes more in this book, but there was specifically in this book a moment where like a character dies in this book, and the hero of this book takes it really badly, and like our two love interests end up having sex like right after the guy's funeral. And I'm just like, does Elle Kennedy have a quota? Does she have a quota that she has to meet of sex scenes? So yeah, I kind of thought that was cheesy. The dialogue was cheesy. I just don't think these books are amazing, but they're not trying to be amazing. But overall, I would recommend these books to no one. If you haven't already read these books, I don't see what would be the point to read these books. I know these books have been republished. They have different covers now, so more people are probably picking these books up. And I think for a younger audience, you could enjoy this. I don't see the people who watch my channel, the people who are closer to my age, really getting anything out of these books. And I enjoy Elle Kennedy. This is not coming from someone who can't enjoy Elle Kennedy. I enjoy Elle Kennedy. But I just think these books are just, they're Wattpad-y, they're Tumblr-ish. But the problem with them is, and that's why I really can't recommend these, is that they're also not juicy enough. What made Wattpad and Tumblr fiction so good is that you were going to get mess at its finest. Like, the authors of these stories are just going to throw any and everything at you and see what sticks. And you were going to get so much drama that was unrealistic, stupid. And that's also not these books. These books are not juicy in any way as well. They're just literally just porn on the page. They're porn on the page and crude dialogue, which like I can get behind at times. It's just like, I just think there could be more. There could be more going on with these books. I just feel like you had to read these books at a specific time to really like these books. So overall, as a series, I'm going to give it 3 stars. Overall, as a series, I give it 3 stars. The only dud is the mistake. Now, the way this book ended, I kind of do want to read the 4th one. When I go on vacation for my birthday, I might pick up the 4th one on Kindle to just read, while I'm on vacation, just because. I don't know. We'll see. But like, yeah. I think they could be juicier. I was going in this expecting mess. And mess is not what I got mess in all the wrong areas. The dialogue was mess. The sex scenes were mess. These people were mess. But like overall juicy plots, I don't think the plots were that juicy. And I think every moment where there could be tension, there wasn't any tension. And I think the book spends too much time trying to redeem these hockey players, to show these hockey players are actually good people. And it's like, I don't need them to be good people. I need drama. I need stakes, and that's not what this was. So overall, I am happy to have read them because they have been sitting on my bookshelves for years, literally years. But I do like this series more, which is crazy because I know a lot of people don't like this series. But that's just my opinion, and that is my exploration of Elle Kennedy. I need to show you guys some books I got during the week. I feel like now it's becoming a thing. Like at the end of my videos, I tell you guys what books I purchased throughout the week. So I got my hands on a book by Chandra Bloomberg. It's called Second Tide's the Charm. I'm always looking for Black romance to, make its way into the Lily Reads Book Club. If you do not know, the Lily Reads Book Club is a Black romance book club that I run. We meet at the end of every single month. And so I'm always looking for new books to make their way in there. This could be a 2025 or 2026 pick, but I got my hands on it. Another book that I got my hands on was The Guest by Emma Cline. I have not read The Girls from this same author, but this book got a lot of praise when it came out, and I always wanted to get my hands on it. Never was the right time for me to do it, and finally I was like, King, if you don't buy this book, you're never going to read this book, and you want to read this book. So I got The Guest. And the last book I purchased was, actually, I didn't purchase this. This was a gift. I got this as a gift by someone, and it is Hello Beautiful by Anne Napolitano. Hello Beautiful by Anne Napolitano. I purchased another book by this author, Within Arm's Reach. And so I said I wanted to read this book first and then read Within Arm's Reach. I don't know about that, but I got my hands on this book. It is from Target, and those are the books that I got this week. And that wraps this week of reading up. It was a good palate cleanser. Like, I like having a week where I just read books that just have been sitting on my bookshelf that I'm not so excited to read, but you know, I'm curious about them. So I enjoy doing that. And I will see you guys in the next one.